piles of laundry. How are you today? Welcome back to the channel. I have in fact been cheating on you with the kitchen. I've been cheating on you. I did not film. I did not bring you with me. You did not see it. I did it in secret. And you know what? It was a little easier without you. I'm going to be honest. But don't worry. Together, we are going to clean the bedroom today. It is a hot mess express. It is crazy. There's Band-Aids stuck to the carpet, dog hair everywhere, courtesy of Willow and Archie, who is off camera at the moment. So let's get into it. And we'll clean, we'll declutter. There's plenty to throw away and donate for sure. So we'll get into that. And then we'll just have a little chit chat as normal. I am not one to hide from you. I'm not one to not share what is going on with me. So let's get into it. The first thing I have to do is put away the laundry. There was much more laundry than this before, but again, I was unfaithful. I apologize. There are some things that I have to do by myself. And so that's what I did. But I'm putting the laundry away. Then I think we're gonna go through a bunch of my drawers and declutter the drawers. That is huge, massive. I dumped them all out, got rid of stuff, threw away a lot of clothes. Trigger warning, if you are really upset with people who throw clothes away, this is probably not the video for you, because I did not have it in me to go through it and donate things. Plus, most of it honestly was old underwear or socks that didn't have matches. So please, we'll move past it. Then I will show you, I bought a few new things because it is summer and it's hot and I didn't have any casual clothes. So I bought a couple of tops and I bought three, the black dress I'm wearing. I know it doesn't look a lot different than the other black tunic that I wear in literally every video. But it is a different dress. It is a different dress. The other one is from Target from 3 years ago. This one is from Old Navy, and I bought a green one and a lilac colored one because they're so light and gauzy and delightful to wear. And I also bought this striped vest looking dress too. So anyway, hi Amelia, welcome. She was helping me this whole time. But also she was playing by herself too for a while, which was incredible. I love that she can play by herself. She doesn't often prefer to play by herself, but she can. She has this whole imagination now, and toys talk to each other. I don't know. It's really cool. It's fun. So that's the plan. I'm also going to tackle that back corner over there that you see by my bedside table. We have pull-ups and diapers from 6 months ago that will never be used because Amelia doesn't need them. So we're going to deal with that. And then the top of the dresser. I think you saw that when we came in. It is just too large of a magnet for me. In fact, since I've cleaned this area, it already spoiler alert, already has stuff on it again. But at least the stuff that's on there is neatly folded blankets. So it's not just a pile. No, I'm justifying. I'll go take it off. I'll go get rid of it today. All right. So anyway, that's the plan for cleaning. Now let's talk about fun stuff or life or whatever. I will give you an update. So my job interview, I had a job interview and it went great. It went really well. If you saw my video last week, my huffy puffy, walking on the treadmill with terrible lighting video where I was depressed and sad and in a terrible mood, but you helped me feel better. You helped me feel better because you let me talk it out. So thank you. The interview went great. The interview went amazing. And I was worried about my clinical, what I was going to say about what kind of therapist I am. And the lady loved my answer. She loved it. She said she loved it, out loud to me. She said she loved it. So I'm amazing. I'm trying to take a page out of Beth's book, Beth from Feral Tradwife, and just start saying I'm amazing. Because I think I actually am, and I just don't acknowledge it enough. So I'm incredible. I aced the interview. I got a call back a few days later and they said they want to set me up for the final part of the interview process, which is really more just like a meet and greet on site at the nursing home where I would be providing the counseling. So I don't think it's really like a yes or no, like they're going to weed me out at this point. I think it's more so just like a formality. Uh, so good job to me. I did a great job. Also, I don't think well, who knows? I've been talking to you for like a year and a half, so I may have talked about it, but I am a great interviewer, by the way, just in general. I don't know why I ever doubted myself. My therapist laughs at me because I have had so many jobs in the 10 years that she's known me. And every time I talk to her about applying for a new job, she just kind of shakes her head and smiles because she knows I'm going to get the job. It's just a matter of, am I going to like the job? Am I going to keep the job? Am I going to stick with the job? In fact, where I met her, where I met my therapist, is actually, I worked with her as a colleague. And that interview was wild. That interview was crazy. Like, I aced that interview because I took improv classes at Second City in Chicago. That is why I aced that interview. Because basically it was improv. It was an improv acting exercise. Like, we all had to pretend. It was a group interview to become a therapist at their practice. And there were probably 8 of us, maybe 10. We all sat in a circle in chairs, and we had to pretend that we were in a therapy group as clients. And it was like the craziest interview experience of my life. But it was the best because it was just play. It was just playing. It was acting. It was improv. And I friggin' loved it. It was so fun. Also, for those of you who don't know, I went to an arts high school. I went to Los Angeles County High School for the Arts many, many, many years ago. If you are older, like older than me even, and you are familiar with the show Fame, about this, I think that high school was based in New York City, where, there were ballerinas and jazz dancers and singers and actors and jazz musicians. That's the kind of high school I went to. I was a dance major. We took our academic classes in the morning, and then we took our arts classes in the afternoon. I took ballet, I took modern dance, jazz, whatever, you name it, I took it. I also took musical theater as an elective class, and I accidentally got a lead role in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Carousel my senior year. Not accidentally. I mean, I showed up on purpose. I auditioned. But I'm not a singer. I'm not really an actor. But I happen to be a good dancer. And I also kind of just looked like my facial features, I just looked like the two singing leads, like Julie Jordan and Billy Bigelow. I happened to look like them. And so I got cast in a lead role in the musical. In my senior year. We also had opera. They had a really incredible opera program. So I got to dance in a bunch of opera pieces, like A Midsummer Night's Dream, The Tales of Hoffmann. So yeah, I grew up very artistic, very on stage as a teenager. And then I really don't know what happened to me. I'm not sure what broke my spirit. Actually, no, I know what broke my spirit. Blue Man Group broke my spirit. That was another job that I that I had when I came to Chicago for graduate school. I worked at Blue Man Group. I've probably mentioned it before, but I don't think I've mentioned the dark side of Blue Man Group. I feel like it's safe to talk about it now because it closed, like the show closed after a 20 or 30 year run, maybe 30 years. I don't know how long it was running 30 years probably in Chicago. It just closed like earlier this year. So I can talk about it. It was really dark. So this video is going to be all over the place, but it all relates back to me being really good at interviewing. So stick with me. We will come full circle, I hope. I'm not promising, but I hope. So when I came for grad school, first I tried nannying as my job while I was here, but the like working for I was living on Michigan Avenue in Chicago, like downtown Chicago, on Michigan Avenue, across the street from the Shed Aquarium. Like that's where I was living. So I know it sounds super fancy, and it was really fancy. It was really fancy, but I lived in a studio apartment. To be fair, like I wasn't in a luxury penthouse or anything. But anyway, so the people that I was nannying for, I worked for a couple different families, and they were fancy families. And it was weird, and I didn't like it. Like this one couple, the final straw with the nannying is this couple was, they were both lawyers, and the like they got mad at me for using too many paper towels, and then they praised me for sweeping the stairs. But they're like, you're really good. Like, thank you. You're really good at sweeping the cat hair off our stairs. And I was super insulted at the time because I was like, you hired me. I didn't say this to them, but in my head, I'm like, you hired me to watch your kid because I have a bachelor's degree and I'm getting a master's degree. And I understand child development. And you're telling, like, the thing you're happiest about is that I'm sweeping the cat hair off your stairs? Like, what? Anyway, I was very insulted and frustrated in that job. So I ended up applying to work at Blue Man Group at the Briar Street Theater in Chicago. And this was back in, I don't know, 2005, probably winter. Yeah, the fall or winter of 2005, because I moved here in July. So anyway, I interviewed at Blue Man Group. They hired me right away. I worked as a ticket taker. They called it front of house staff. So I was a ticket taker and an usher, basically. And then throughout the show, we had to sit. There were probably like 7 of us for every show, for every performance. And we would station ourselves throughout the theater in case, anything happened. We would keep an eye on the audience, make sure everybody was okay. Look at that closet. It is getting kind of stuffed. I probably should thin it out a little more. But anyway, I'm having a hard time letting go of certain things, all right? Don't judge me. Oh, God. Now you can judge me. Now you can judge me. Definitely judge me. We're going to need more coffee for this. Yeah. All right. All right, just watch the magic happen while we continue to talk about the dark side of Blue Man Group. Dun dun dun. All right, so we were stationed. This isn't the dark part yet. Don't worry, I'll let you know. But we would station ourselves around the theater in case like there was craziness in the audience or in case a Blue Man needed help or something. And then there were also some like cues in the show that we would help with. So that's what I did as a job. However, I was a young, gorgeous, skinny, 21-year-old girl, okay? Fresh out of college, fresh into graduate school. And, oh man, there were a lot of attractive, artistic, talented people at the Briar Street Theater during that time. And I probably should also reveal, this is going to look really terrible, but I'm just going to be honest with you because it was a long time ago. It's been 20 years. I think I can forgive myself, but I had a fiance at the time. I had forced him to propose to me at Disneyland when we were in college because that's, when you go to college in Los Angeles, that's what you do, I guess, 20 years ago. So he proposed to me like a good boy, and then he didn't really have much going on after he graduated from college. He was a year ahead of me, so he worked for a year, and then I moved to Chicago. And then he was like, you know what? Maybe I'll move to Chicago too. So he moved to Chicago, and then he started a program at the grad school I was at for something else. And then I worked at Blue Man Group and met a bunch of really interesting, cool people. And I broke up with him on Christmas Eve, like the same year that he moved out to be with me. parents hated me. His parents hated me so, so, so much. They really did not like me. They were very serious Catholics. And I was the devil, which is hilarious because I grew up as an evangelical Christian. But if you don't know, the evangelical Christians and the Catholics do not think that each other are real Christians. Especially the evangelicals, they are so judgmental. When I was in 5th grade, I remember coming home sobbing one day because I found out, this is in heavy, heavy air quotations, I found out that my Catholic grandparents were going to go to hell because they were not real Christians. Which, by the way, I do not believe now at all. I think that's ridiculous. But, I think the whole situation, I think religion in general is ridiculous, but that's a story for another time. But yeah, so anyway, so this guy, this fiance that I had, this poor innocent Catholic boy, he moved with me to Chicago, and then I broke up with him on Christmas Eve. And then I proceeded to date, also heavy air quotes, most of the males that worked at the Briar Street Theater within, a 3-year span. And that was probably what broke me, with my confidence, because I just remember there was a moment where I was sitting down talking to one of the blue men in the green room, who was a married blue man, he was an off-limits blue man. I did have some boundaries, all right? I was not a completely horrific hedonistic person, but so I was talking to this one blue man who didn't know me at all, and I was just chit-chatting with him, and I was telling him, oh yeah, I'm from LA, I'm here, I moved, and he's like, oh, well, why did you move here? And I said, oh, I'm in graduate school for being, creative arts therapy, for being a counselor. And he was absolutely shocked. He was completely shocked because I had so destroyed my relationship. That too. I had destroyed many relationships. Good at getting jobs, bad at relationships. But anyway, so I had so destroyed my reputation at that place that he had just through the grapevine had viewed me, from what he had heard, as, some little floozy chick who didn't have anything going for her. And so when I will never forget that conversation, because it just really kind of crystallized how far I had gotten from my roots and from who I really was. I just had gotten really lost. I was just chasing a sense of belonging, and I didn't really know how to go about it other than to, try to attach myself to these different men, these different talented men. And so it was really sad. And I think also dance is a strange art form. If you're going to hang around a bunch of artistic people, being a ballet dancer is kind of a hard talent to really talk about or share with other people. Most of the artistic men that I was hanging out with were musicians and into filmmaking. And then some people were also, that I hung out with, were into visual arts as well, painting and costume making and prop design, and they were doing all kinds of cool set design and set building at different theaters across Chicago. And I had an opportunity to hang out with a lot of very cool artistic people who were doing a lot of really interesting things in the Chicago theater scene at the time, and the music scene too, not just being blue men. They all had other interests and side projects and all that kind of stuff. And I just got really caught up in that world. And actually, I quit grad school. Like, I took a break from grad school for a year in the middle of all that because I was like, you know what? Forget it. Like, I don't want to be a counselor. I want to be like a stage manager or a casting director. Actually, what I really wanted to be was a casting director. And so I helped out with a couple of the Blue Man auditions that they had. I mean, I wasn't in a casting director role by any stretch of the imagination, but I was kind of like behind the scenes helping the the people who were coming to audition. I was there to kind of like direct them, tell them where to go, where they could wait, see if they needed snacks, whatever. So I did that kind of stuff. I also helped to do some stage direction at a different, smaller theater during that time, just to kind of get my feet wet. Like, I volunteered to do it and helped with that. I don't even know what the show was called, honestly, anymore, but I did that just to kind of get some experience. And then I also, another job that I interviewed for and got with zero experience was I worked at a talent agency in downtown Chicago. I worked at Shirley Hamilton Talent, and I was in charge of two things. First, I was just new and did whatever they said, but eventually I kind of found my groove in accepting, like, going through all of the submissions for children. Back then, many years ago, people would send in like actual physical photos. They would mail them, and so I would open the mail and go through the pictures and see if we needed, any more blonde-haired, blue-eyed 7-year-olds, or if we were full up of those, or if we wanted some, Latino kids, or whatever it was. It was all very racist. um, like we, but kind of like backwards almost. Like, we had too many white kids. We needed more mixed ethnicity children to put in all of the advertisements. So anyway, so I did that, and then I also did voiceover recording. I helped voice actors do their like, I would sit with them in the room, help them record. Wow, I would not get hired as a voiceover actor. But I helped other people get jobs as voiceover actors. So I would sit in the room with them, and they would read the script, and then I would help them record their auditions, and then we would send them in, and people would get, like, hired for radio ads or, whatever. So that was my life. That was my life as an early 20 something. I think during that time, I also had a third job, like all at the same time. I was working at Blue Man. I was at the talent agency part-time. And then this is when I dropped out of grad school. And then I also worked at a Scottish pub at the same time. I worked at a Scottish pub called the Duke of Perth. It is still there. Well, it's in a different location now, but it's still in Chicago. And what actually saved me from that very dark time where I lost my sparkle and lost who I was and just became, this sort of directionless, not good enough girl who didn't really know how to talk about the same things that the people I was around were talking about. I didn't, I just didn't quite fit in. And people started to lose respect for me. Like, the more people I dated within the same circle, the less, kind of like the more untouchable I became, right? And eventually I had a total mental breakdown. Ended up seeing a counselor who helped. I don't even remember her name, honestly, but she helped me tremendously to just sort of shake all this off. And my mom at the time actually had the best insight ever that I couldn't really see at the time, but I tell clients about it now all the time. What she told me, which is, there are times when if you're at a job, then that job and the people surrounding you sort of become your whole world. It becomes your whole sort of microcosm of what's important and the hierarchy of the people who work there. And, I was putting all of these blue men on this huge pedestal. And in reality, like, they were just 30-something-year-old dudes who didn't own cars, who were making probably like 50, 60 grand a year putting on clown makeup every day, right? Like, don't get me wrong, they're very, very talented people. Like, they're very successful, talented people, right? But at the time, I was putting these guys in clown makeup on this huge pedestal, and what they thought of me was what I thought of myself, right? And my mom was just kind of like, Megan, like, if you walk away from this environment, like, none of this is going to matter at all. Like, no one else knows anything about that world, and it won't matter at all. And you can easily, like, start over and be whoever you want to be. And I really take that to heart, because it's true. Like, I quit working there after I got like a real stable boyfriend, the owner of that restaurant that I worked at. He was like an actual adult. He was a very like solid, stable human being. He was the exact opposite of all the artistic, like, whatever artistic people. Like, he was a very, engineer brained, down to earth, solid dude. So anyway, so he kind of, the therapist saved me. My mom's words were very impactful. And then this guy that I dated for 6 years, he really kind of helped build me back up in a weird kind of way. Like, I don't think he was doing it on purpose, but he was just a solid, like, safe person. Who was, I mean, I was going to say he wasn't judgmental. He was. He definitely had his own judgments, right? But it wasn't the same, right? It wasn't like a critical, like, shame kind of a judgment. It was more just like, oh, like, no one ever told you have to put your dishes in this, like, in the dishwasher after you finish using them. Like, you should probably clean up after yourself. Like, that kind of stuff. Like, oh, when my mom comes, like, when his mom came to visit, he had to give me like a little coaching session beforehand. He was like, Megan, I know that you were not like raised this way, right? Like, everybody in your family took care of themselves, did their own thing. He's like, but my mom is from Scotland, so when she comes here, she will expect a certain level of hospitality, or else she's gonna think you're really rude and an awful human being. So, I mean, he didn't say it quite like that, but he was just like, so when you get up for yourself, if you're getting a cup of tea for yourself or you're getting a snack for yourself, he said, if my mom is in the room, it would be really great if you could look at her and say, oh, Vida, would you like a cup of tea? And then give her a cup of tea if she would like a cup of tea. So it's kind of gross, but he kind of parented me in a way that I needed at the time, right? He kind of got my feet back under me, and helped me to be the tidy, organized person that I am today. He was the most clean and organized person I've ever met in my life, honestly. He was very meticulous about everything, and living with him was great, but it was also really difficult because I was so not that. But again, he was kind about it. Like, he was serious, but he was kind about it. He was just like, here are my boundaries. Like, here's what I expect if we're going to live together. Like, this is what I need from you. And if you can't do that, like, this isn't going to work. So I did it. So so that saved me. So all of that to say, I don't know where I left off with the job stuff. My confidence. That's where we were coming from. I don't know why I let my confidence get so far in the toilet. I know that I'm good at interviewing. I know that I get pretty much every job that I apply for if I get an interview, like a face-to-face interview with somebody. And I just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where that comes from, that part of me. Oh my gosh, the dogs. Ugh. I swear to you, this video, I have recorded a voiceover. I'm not even going to stop. I've recorded so many versions of this voiceover over the last 3 days. I recorded one version where I talked about how mad I am at men, just in general. Citing multiple examples in the news. Then I stopped that. I was like, no, I didn't say it how I wanted to say it. Then I recorded a whole episode where I talked about family annihilators. I got deep into some true crime stuff. I got into the news about Travis Decker and how he unalived his 3 daughters recently, and Chris tied it into Chris Watts. And so I did that, and then I was like, no, like nobody wants to listen to me talk about murder for 30 minutes. Like there's plenty of other channels where you can listen to murder content without me surprising you here with my cleaning and personal chats. And then now here we are, and I'm trying to talk about my personal life and my self-confidence. And I got up at 5 a.m. and went downstairs. I skipped my treadmill session so that I could record most of this. And then Amelia woke up at like 7 o'clock, which is early for her. She normally, if she doesn't have to go anywhere, she'll sleep until 8. Oh, look, I found my mineral sunscreen I was looking for. Amazing. So anyway, I am really just trying to get through the end of this voiceover so I can publish, so I can post it, so you will have something to see before this recording is, this bedroom clean is like too old for me to even want to post anymore. I want to post it while it's still relevant. So anyway, yeah. Oh, you guys, I'm on the struggle bus. Okay, so anyway, happy I got my confidence back. Happy my interview went well. Super nervous about starting a new job. Super nervous about changing our whole routine. It has been like I used to take Amelia somewhere else to go to daycare, somebody else's house. And that was kind of a struggle to like hurry up and get her, fed and dressed and everything to get out of the house to go to daycare. It has been really nice. I've been really spoiled. She's been really spoiled having a babysitter come to us a couple days a week. And then I consolidated all my clients into 2 days. And so I've only been working 2 days a week for the last month or so. And it's been really nice. So the idea of having, oh my gosh, look at this bedroom. But anyway, the idea of having a full-time schedule again and taking her to daycare and all of that, like I'm really anxious about that. But I think it'll be fine. It'll be really good for her to interact with other kids all day and play, because that's all she wants to do. And she's really good at making friends now when we go out. And so I'm excited for her. I'm excited for me to start a new chapter and new challenges, and I just appreciate you all. I think, what did I call you at the beginning? My little laundry piles. Thank you for coming along with me and supporting me through whatever the heck's going on, and my questionable morality along the way. So I love you, thank you, and I hope to see you in the next video. All right, love you. Mwah. Goodbye.